Okay, so I wanted to do a quick tutorial on how to use track changes because that's the way that I'll be interacting with the document that we are working on, the substantive change prospectus. So here's a look at the final document template that I have set up, and I've now inserted track changes based on the additions that each of you have been sending in to me. So the first thing you'll want to do to be able to differentiate each user is to go to File up in the left hand corner, scroll down to Options, and I have been inserting changes by Shane Booth, so I changed my name to Shane Booth, but I'm going to change my name back to Bryce Hantla, and I'm going to insert my initials as BH. So now when I click OK, the user has been changed to Bryce Hantla so that every other change I make in the document will show up as Bryce Hantla. So if I hover over one of these changes that I inserted from the edition that Brittany sent, you'll see her name pop up as Brittany Burnett, and then it includes all of the changes that she's made there as well. So that was something that I did previously in the document. The next thing you'll want to do is adjust your settings such that it's easy to read the document. The default settings, in my opinion, that come with Microsoft Word are not very easy to sort through. They're a little bit difficult in terms of seeing the strike through text and everything else. Yes, you get to see exactly what was deleted, but I'll show you some tricks on how to actually see that information another way that to me makes more sense. So what I do is I'll go up to Track Changes under the Review tab here at the top, and I'll turn my track changes on so that it is shown as yellow, and then I'll come down into the options for track changes, not the big button but the drop down menu. I'll click change tracking options, and that'll bring up a window that gives me various options on how I want to see this information. Now, just because you show strike through text and save the document doesn't mean other people who open it are going to see the strike through text if they have different view settings. So this is where I change all my view settings. Currently I like hidden for deletions because I have deleted that information and I want to get it out of there because to me it just jumbles up my workspace. But the default setting is to have strike through text, and so I'll show you what that looks like when I click on strike through. So here the addition at the beginning is what Brittany added to the original document that Joe uploaded in the email. But I went through and changed some different things that Joe had put in there, and I deleted students registered for the classes, and I added course enrollments here. Somewhat self-explanatory, but as I was going through some of the other edited documents, I was noticing people putting in strike through text, which is one way to do that and to show that you don't want to have text in there anymore, but you actually have to go through the step of deleting strike through text later as well, and to me that's an extra step that I want to take out of this equation. So by using track changes, I highlight something. I'll show you how this works. I want to highlight CBS began a pilot program, and I want to change that to we did this, which is not what I want to do, but I'm for the sake of illustration. So as you can see, I highlighted CBS began a pilot program, and I simply started typing my words, we did this. Let me show you that one more time. So I'm going to undo, Control Z, and it goes back to what it was originally. CBS began a pilot program. We did this in Texas to begin offering classes such and such and such and such. So hopefully you'll be able to begin interacting with Microsoft Word in this way. To me, it's a much more efficient process for going through and editing documents as a committee or as a group of people, as we're doing here. And so that's the very straightforward, kind of simple way of doing that. Let me show you a couple ways now to interact with the functionality of track changes. So let me undo this because I don't want that. I think that's terrible, the change that I made there. So let me go through a couple steps on how you can review the document to see who's editing it, who's making changes, and we can move forward from there. So if I want to just see, I've made a change, I want to see what the final document looks like. I can go up, again, I'm under the Review tab, I can go up to Final, and this is going to show me what the final document's going to look like. Now, don't freak out, it looks like I have deleted all the comments and I've accepted all the changes. That's not what's happened. What's happened is I've actually just changed the view setting so that I view the document as it will look if I were to delete all the comments and accept all the revisions. All those things are still in the document. I'm just seeing it as a final document. So if you noticed before, I had some highlighting down here. I want to see if there's any highlighting left. So what I'll do is go back. See, here's the highlighting that was there before, and I'll toggle back to the final view setting so you can see exactly what I've done. All the deletions are gone. All the highlighted text is gone. Everything that I had in there before is over now, or it's hidden, and I'm seeing it as the document would be presented in its final version. Okay, now I want to go back to Show Final. I'm going to revert my changes or my view settings back to hiding the deletions, okay, because that's how I prefer to view documents. I don't need to see what I'm deleting. I just want to see the changes that I've made. And now I want to add a comment. So most of you are familiar already with adding a new comment. I'm just trying to cover all my bases. So I highlight what I want to comment on. I go up under Review and I select New Comment. I actually use the keystroke Alt-RC, and that gets me to add the new comment. But this is just the sort of analog version of doing that. Add new comment, and then I can type my text in, and we're good to go. I don't actually want to do that, so I'm going to Control Z, undo those things. Now, if I want to go through and see all the reviewers of this document, I can go under Review, Show Markup, Reviewers, hover over Reviewers, it'll bring up another menu, and I can now see, and sorry Shane, I misspelled your name the first time, and so the second time I spelled it correctly, but now you show up as two different users because it's two different names. So Shane has made changes, Brittany's made changes, and Bryce has made changes, and Joe has actually made changes. His was the foundational document that we're all now building on, but because his was the original one, he hasn't made any changes as a user yet, so he's not showing up as a user. Once we send it back to Joe and he makes changes, if he wants to make changes using track changes, then he'll show up as a reviewer on this document as well. He's the original author, actually. If we go into File, we can see that he was the original author of the document. So that's a straightforward, sort of short tutorial on how I'm going to be interacting with this substantive change prospectus in the future. And if you want to incorporate this into your workflow, that would be great. If not, feel free to do what's most comfortable for you. But just know how I'm doing things, and so we can be all on the same page there. Again, I'm saving this under the shared directory so that we can all access it as the final document for College of Biblical Studies Houston Substantive Change Report as you see at the top. Thanks for your time.